I wouldn't be shocked if you don't believe that there's blood in some of the movies that I'm about to list for you, especially Moana. During my research, I found a bunch of examples of characters bleeding in these films. First up on the list, we got the movie Lightyear.
We have to blow up the ship.
There's no time. We'll never make it.
A quick zoom on Buzz's face reveals that he has a bloody scar and a couple scratches. This movie was highly detailed, contrary to what we saw in the original Toy Story movies. So yeah, that's somewhat graphic for a Pixar movie. But if you're wondering why Buzz was bleeding the entire time, it's because he got hit pretty hard. It's important to note that earlier in the film, he had no scratches on his face, and I didn't really think I'd see him get damaged, to be honest with you. However, this is pretty cool. We're literally seeing a fresh wound. If you zoom into his forehead, you can actually see the scar extends to his eyebrow area as well. This is probably not how you pictured Buzz from Toy Story. Seeing him with blood on his skin? Now try to keep in mind that the real-life Buzz Lightyear is not some toy in some collection box made of plastic, alright? This is real human skin. And he does interact with the environment, whether that's dirt on his face or blood. We kind of saw this from my previous list in the movie Up, where the characters were smearing blood all over their foreheads. And we see it here in real life as well. Well, as much as to real life as we can possibly get without it not being an animated movie. Anyways, let's go on. I found blood in Moana 1. As Moana was trying to cross the ocean, she got a boo-boo underwater and it damaged her foot. Now I totally forgot they even had blood in this movie, and when I saw this, I had to immediately pause. Moana's foot is injured here and there is some blood. However, it would probably be a bad idea for her to try to wash it out in the ocean, seeing as the ocean is full of salt and sharks. But how will she mend her wounds? I also find it interesting that she's trying to hide her foot but accidentally smushes the cut together. Like, if that thing gets infected, man, we need a hospital. After researching this topic for a while, it's still very interesting to see how blood is different in every single movie. See, it differentiates from each film. Sometimes the blood is on the hand, or the finger, or the face, or the eyebrow. These kid movies are not playing around, and this is why I do these videos for you. You probably never guessed that these movies would have so much blood incorporated into it. I'm still surprised till this day that I was able to make so much videos on this, but it's so interesting to see it every single time. And we watched this as children, and they had blood in it. Old and new movies alike. But this does beg the question, what's next on the list, huh? Coming up is Sonic 2. Now bear with me on this one, it's pretty difficult to see this. The lighting and the fur of Sonic make it atrocious to actually see what's going on here, so I had to add some contrast and brightness. But if we zoom into the cheek area, we can actually see that he has some blood on his cheek. Now this is very hard to see. In fact, I'd go a step further and say that the blood is actually just a piece of his skin that's falling off. Yikes. I don't know if I'm crazy on this, but it doesn't look like a liquid substance, like a liquid blood that's actually dripping down. It looks as if a piece of his skin got ripped off. You know when you fall down and you bruise your knee? It's not just blood dripping down, it's literally your skin and flesh ripped open. I think that's what happened here. Very insane. Maybe they were trying to hide that with the fur. I don't know. I have to give them props for adding realism to the Sonic movies. It is important to note that some of the human characters actually have blood themselves, and that's not hidden at all. Expected, human skin. However, I wanted to focus on the animated characters because that's what makes these lists interesting in the first place. You wouldn't really expect to see PG animated cute characters looking so busted up. So yeah, a little bit of drip, a little bit of drip. Pivoting away from that, I always thought it was interesting seeing The Princess and the Frog, where only a tiny sample of blood was taken for the voodoo purposes.
Modification Central. Can you feel it?
Contrasted with Tangled, where we see someone literally get stabbed. Mind you, there's no blood on that dagger. However, scenes later, we see something catastrophic. This is pretty graphic for Disney. I felt that this caught me off guard so much as an adult that I don't even remember this registering into my mind when I was a kid. Sometimes I wonder if this is the Mandela effect. Anyways, another instance of blood was when the dogs were chasing the main protagonist from the movie Up, and it actually bites down really hard, and this leaves a permanent scar. So if you actually check out the wound afterwards, there's blood and it's getting bandaged up. This is an act of kindness. I think we need to award this guy another badge. As I was wrapping up this video, I really appreciate just seeing traditional animation show blood, because I went back to watch the Lion King movie and then I contrasted it with the live action, and there's such a big difference. One difference is it's not as bloody as you'd think it would be. See, in the original, I took a screenshot for you, there was blood all over that film. Blood all over the first Lion King, man, I'm telling you. But contrast the exact same scene and we see nothing? Seriously, wouldn't this be the opportunity to do it? Isn't this live action where the stakes should be realer? Why is it that the cartoony version is showing us the blood? You'd think it'd be the opposite. Very fascinating, a little disappointing to see from the live action, but I'm sure there was other instances of blood in the live action. But still, they didn't even include the blood in some of the scenes that you would expect blood to be at. I mean, you have two lions scraping at each other, and all we get is what? Just hand holding? This is pretty embarrassing. There should have been something under there. We saw in the Sonic movie that even though there was fur, they at least showed some red. Or am I just missing it? I must be crazy, but I don't see anything. Anyways, we are at the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I have a couple other ideas that I'd like to explore, so just stay tuned for that. What are your thoughts on this video? Would you hide blood if you had a scratch? Would you include blood knowing that children may possibly watch it? I'd like to hear your thoughts down below. And if you said yes, why yes? If you said no, why no? This is very interesting. Yeah, I'm still shocked to see this in the first Moana. I haven't seen Moana 2 yet, but there's probably blood in there too. Ba-dum psh, ba-dum psh, ba-dum goodbye.
Modification Central.